Hey everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs. For today's Quick Tip Thursday, I have some fun news. I was working on my original short version of my shorts pattern to make a long version, and I realized that when I drafted it, I sort of made I don't want to say Daisy Duke, but I'm going to say it just so you get sort of a visual of an extreme example. I didn't make Daisy Dukes, but what I did was when I designed the hem and the shape, I actually raised the side seam so it's almost higher than crotch level. And let me just show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's the back, and you can see it's straight on my cutting board. The straight of grain is here, equal with the grid on my paper, and you can see that the hem angles up towards the side seam. Now it's not way up here like a Daisy Duke would be, but it's, you know, it does angle up. And when I realized I had done that, and I guess I knew I did it, I just, you know, I wasn't thinking in terms of, okay, now I'm just going to lengthen this, because you can't just lengthen this pattern, because at the bottom, if you have it go to the knee, then I'd have an angle on my hem as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sew the front and back together. So when I realized I wasn't going to be able to make a long version of this pattern, I went back and I started over and I drafted a straight hem on a short pattern so I can lengthen it. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so see how that's straight? And I've drawn these diagonal lines on my pattern to show you approximately where my hem was. This is where the bottom was. This is the seam allowance right here. All right, so this pattern piece does look a little bit like a mess because I was playing with sort of redrawing in the hem on my shorty short pattern so I could, you know, sort of see the difference and explain it to you. But see how if I had cut the hem up here, how it's very close to the crotch point, okay? And you can see that that would never be able to lengthen and go straight across the knee. So basically now I have a shorts pattern and I have a shorty short pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to develop my second attempt into a shorter version, longer version shorts pattern. And the nice thing about this pattern, ladies, is that it's going to sit at the natural waist. This is kind of a new concept for me. But you can see here, I've already sewn it together and it fits me really well. I made a zipper on this version, and when I put the waistband on, it will sit at my natural waist. And I think sometimes it's nice to have that option so, you know, when you buy a pattern, you don't have to raise the rise. And it's going to be really a comfortable, shorter version and then a to the knee version. So that's what I'm working on. And my quick tip for today has to do with the fabric. You know, I'm trying all of these different shorts and I don't want to blow through all of my really nice khaki fabric when I'm just trying it. Okay, so I have this fabric in my stash and I've had it for a while. The thing about it is it has stretch. So if I had cut these pieces out so that the grain line was parallel to the salvage edge like you would do, it would be stretchy, and I was afraid that I wouldn't get a good read on how it fit. So I decided to try an experiment. I cut them out on the cross grain instead. So I lined my grain line up with the cut edge or the cut end of the fabric instead of the salvage, and that way the stretch, and I'll show you, is going this way. So see, they're stretchy the lengthwise, but there's no stretch across the fit of the short. And because I knew I was doing that, I also sewed my top stitched fly detail from the base of my crotch seam up to the waist. And you'll notice as I lay this here nice and flat, I'm just turning it this way so you can see, there's no weird stretching under here. It lays nice and flat. So if you're working with a stretch khaki fabric, even if you cut it out, you know, with the stretch going across the pattern pieces, I think it's a really good tip to start top stitching your fly at the base of the fly and go up towards the waist. That way you're not pushing down and making a pucker here. And that has happened to me when I make jeans sometimes, if I'm working with something that's got a little bit too much give to it, or when I worked on some pants too, it happened. So basically, you're going to start here and go up. And then the same thing with my top stitching of the front crotch curve. I started at the same place and I went down. So it's sort of pushing the extra away from this area that can be kind of yucky if you don't sew it properly, or if you sew it in a way where you're pushing all of the extra or stretching it in a way where you end up with a puddle right here. So that's my tip for today. If you're working with stretch wovens, work up and away from that base of your fly. Another exciting piece of news, I'm working on a second Craftsy class and I'm super excited about it, and that's all I'm going to say about it for the moment. But to celebrate that I'm doing that, I'm going to include a link in the blog post that goes along with this video for $10 off my first Craftsy class, which is a jean fitting class. I don't know if any of you noticed it on my Facebook page, but I had, I advertised it. It went live on Friday last week before Memorial Day weekend. So it's been very exciting. I already have a bunch of really nice students, and I've already been asked questions, and I think it's going really well. So if you check out my blog post that goes along with this quick tip, I will have a link to get $10 off my flattering jeans for everybody. So to check that out, and if you have any questions or comments, please post them either below, or you can visit my blog at Stern Designs, where you'll see the link, and you can comment there as well. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you Tuesday with more sewing, design, / something fun. Let's see how much I get done on the weekend before I make any promises. Okay? Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday.